Hello everyone, welcome to an analysis of dance where we discuss the movements and debuts of the Billboard Hot Dance charts in immaculate detail, with in-depth reviews of each debut each week. Well, here we go, the last week before the top 10 devolves into absolute chaos as songs scramble for position. I mean, I can't exactly complain there, the top 10 felt weirdly stagnant throughout a lot of 2023, and if this is a sign that 2024 has a level of uncertainty to it, I'll definitely take it. It makes this chart at least a little bit more interesting to talk about. I mean, I hope it continues throughout the rest of this year. It could make this chart really exciting, especially when you see some of the songs that are actually going up. It is really promising. And if you want some examples of that promise, our top 10, where the top 2 are some of the best songs here. Houdini by Dua Lipa is still a number 1, and really I don't see this falling for a good bit, as even though streaming is not as strong as our number 2, it's got such a huge margin on radio that I expect us to stick around for a fair bit, and I can't really argue about that either. But I also can't complain about Strangers by Kenya Grace at number 2, where it's got even bigger streaming, and while radio is still not as huge, it is gaining at a considerable rate. I can see this actually sticking around. But now we have to address DJ Play a Christmas Song by Cher at number 3. And look, I expect this to take a considerable hit next week, if we're not completely knocked off the charts entirely, which for a Christmas song is absolutely not that surprising. But also given how weak this chart is, I can see this at least sticking around for an extra week. We'll have to see there. I mean, it is still going to comfortably make the year-end list, so you know what? I'm fine with it being there. That's all good by me. But now we have to ask, what the hell is going to take over from this? I mean, logistically, it should be I'm Good Blue by David Guetta and B. Rexha at number 4, where it's still got enough in all categories to stick around. And it's definitely not going to be My House by Beyonce at number 5, which is collapsing on streaming and has nothing else to really help it at this point. Good. And of course, it's absolutely not going to be Ecstasy by Suicidal Idol at number 6, where it's just utterly collapsing across the board, especially on streaming. Good riddance. But hey, they're also established that they're obviously going to rebound, right? Well, no, because debuting at number 7, we have a song that's more likely to absolutely surge come next week, and it's Murder on the Dance Floor by Sophie Ellis-Bextor at number 7. Okay, sure, why not? I mean, I'm surprised it's this one, a song from 2001 that's absolutely surged on streaming and sales thanks to its use in the film Saltburn in a, let's just say, particularly interesting scene that blew up on TikTok. But hey, if it brings back a song that honestly was robbed of a real run in the United States back in the day, I can't really complain there, especially with the song being a classic, shock horror to nobody. I mean, I see this having a similar run to Running Up That Hill on the Hot 100, and hey, if that's the case, can't argue there. And really, that leaves the remainder of the top 10, which are here on stream primarily, with Prada by Casu Ray and D-Block Europe at number 8, Lovely Bastards by Itachi Gang and Zwayhander at number 9, seriously, this can go away anytime now, and Ella Verga by Alex Favela, Grupo Marca Registrada and Joaquin Medina at number 10, which is actually gaining a little bit on hot Latin songs. It could actually have a chance of sticking around and being a pretty decent hit. Can't really complain there. But what's actually quite interesting comes now Falls and Fallouts, where we saw some songs fall victim to the recurrent rules, and actually ones that stuck around longer than I expected. I mean, I can't really complain about 1 in a Million by B. Rexha and David Guetta, and even Take It Off by Fisher and Arctic both being gone. Those songs stuck around way longer than I expected. And hey, they also took out Please Don't Change by Jungkook and DJ Snake, although that one unfortunately might just barely scrape onto the year-end list. Wonderful. Outside of that, well, wow, these falls were really predictable, being songs that either saw continued collapses like Leave Me Alone by Freddie Gane and Baby Keem at 20 and 42 by Diplo and Mara Morris at 29, or songs that lost off considerable boost last week with Summertime Friends by the Chainsmokers at 39 and Fire by Alan Walker, Jake and Yuki off the debut to 44. I don't expect either of these to stick around, and honestly I'm kind of okay with that. But man, there's a lot happening in our jumps and comebacks that's honestly really surprising for me. I mean, it's very telling in our 2 comebacks this week for 2 artists that are dominating the Jersey club scene and likely to have some serious staying power ahead of them, with Jerk by Jinx and 9 Lives at 45 and Ice Wall by Lumi Athena at 46. Again, I don't expect these to last, they're really just filler on this chart, but it's indicative of the 2 artists who are having really great runs on this chart going forward. Hell, that also translates to our gains, where Shake That Shit by Jennings and K. Claire actually surged up to 43. Nice, it's one of the better ones, I can't really complain there. Nor can I complain about Better Off Alone Part 3 by Alan Walker, Vic Star and Dash Berlin up to 32, where it's actually got some considerable momentum thanks to streaming and the remix by none other than Timmy Trumpet of all people. And even if the remix is not remotely good, I can't really argue about this song getting a huge boost. It's only growing on me with more listens, and even if I get the hate that this one gets, I also really like it. I'm glad it's sticking around. Sadly, what also surged up with them was Bike So by Xanteria up to 34. And look, I've heard this guy's album that he just released. Let's just say he's not worth keeping around around. And when the song is not remotely good at all and only gets worse the more I hear it, yeah, this can go away anytime. I'm not exactly happy to see it gain. But anyways, only 2 debuts this week, starting off with something really strange in number 48, Untitled 13 by glwzbll. Another week, another lo-fi TikTok song getting some momentum from an absolute nobody, so I was at least a bit curious on what the hell this was, only to be discovered that this is the sort of lo-fi sound that you'd associate with Lovely Bastards, and I was honestly worried for this at first, but hey, I can't really argue about it because I actually grew to really like this one. I mean, yes, there's not really a whole lot of ideas here. The song just kind of scrolls through a few sessions and repeats itself a few times under 2 minutes. But you know what? Set sections actually have some bombast and energy to them. There's some genuinely haunting atmosphere, and the lo-fi sound actually really works in conveying it for me. It makes the song darker, rawer, and way more effective in conveying the more intimidating sounds, and something that Lovely Bastards should really take note by. It's actually really easy to listen to and doesn't get distracting with the bad mixing. And unlike that song, you can actually relax to this. See, that's how you do this right. Why was this the song that debuts lower? So yeah, it's not great or anything, but I enjoyed this a fair bit, although absolutely nowhere near the level of number 7, Murder on the Dance Floor by Sophie Ellis-Bextor.
DJ, gonna burn this goddamn house right down.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
I mean, come on, it's a classic. What do you want me to say? Well, I'll try my best here. This was a song that was actually absolutely huge back in 2001. A song that hit number 1 in several countries and was really close in others. Pretty much everywhere around the world except for North America really embraced this song, and it's become a radio staple even to this day. Seriously, the amount of times I've heard this is absolutely wild as an Australian. I didn't expect it would be that big, but you know what? I can't really complain about that. I mean, even though this is arguably one of the biggest songs of her career and her most iconic solo song, alongside a collaboration with Spiller, which was even bigger back in the 90s, I also would like to point out that she actually had a decent run up until 2013, where she was charting consistently in the UK and had some pretty damn good songs to boot, which for an artist of her style is honestly really impressive that she had so much longevity. Hell, she actually released an album recently. That's honestly really good timing considering how big this song has become. But anyways, yeah, this is a classic. The groove is timeless, where it still sounds fresh even to this day. Sophie just sounds immaculate on the mic, and she delivers with the sort of ease and confidence that really does match up well with the lyrics about dancing and really getting into the vibe of this song quite well. The hook is absolutely timeless and incredibly recognizable even over 20 years later, and it's got the sort of groove, energy, and personality that's really held up well to this day, and there's a reason that even with overplay, this song still absolutely rules for me. I mean, I'm glad that it's finally becoming a thing now, considering back in the day this didn't actually chart in really any sort of format in the United States outside the club charts, where even there it underperformed considerably. So the fact that it's getting a nice revival and it has the potential to actually hit the Hot 100 next week, yeah, that's a great sign, and this is a great song too. Check it out if you somehow haven't already. And yeah, shock horror, it runs away with the best here, although I'm actually not going to give the worst to Untitled 13 because it's a really damn good song and it was just up against a classic. It just feels unfair for it. Next week, Shay will be gone, Sophie will rise up, and we'll have to see what else debuts alongside these. Honestly, it could be quite interesting going into the new year. We'll have to see there. But yeah, that's all for this episode of Analysis of Dance. See you next time.